Today, I'm gonna try and remove this extractor. It's the first time actually I come across an extractor that's stuck in there so solid that I really can't get it out. This is from one of those kit builds, I think Rock Island Armory 1911 kits. It was only like $400 for everything, and I'm quite impressed with a $400 kit. It's a complete gun. I've never seen that before, but I guess I'll keep that for another video. Anyway, this extractor's in there pretty solid. I can't get it out at all. Normally, you just tap it a couple times with a punch and a hammer in it, and then you can pry it out of there no problem. But this one's in there pretty stuck. And I hit it with a few different punches, all different sizes, angles, everything I could think of. And actually, this part I'm showing you here is just towards the end when I finally found something pretty good to use. It's a long Allen key that's hardened steel, so it's really good. And no matter what I do, even I went to a larger size hammer, I really couldn't get it out. I couldn't even get it to budge, not a single bit. All I ended up doing was slightly marring some of the inside there. You can see where it kind of slipped off the punch a little bit. It's not that bad. It's inside, and I'm probably gonna round out the ejection port anyway, so you won't see a single mark later. But there you can see that little part where I caught the side, but still not that bad. Anyway, that was plan A, I guess. Just knock it out with a punch. That didn't work, so we're gonna start moving over to plan B. I thought actually I had no plan, but anyway, plan B was maybe we'll drill the back, we'll drill it out and get as large as we can until we hit that section where the extractor kind of tapers off, and we can turn to two pieces, pull the front piece out and pound the back piece out, maybe take off some of the pressure, and it'll come out. Anyway, what I did was I took a center punch and try to eyeball the center of the rear of the extractor. It's actually harder than it seems. I mean, it's not flat round on the back. It's kind of angled, and part of the rear of the extractor is kind of cut off. So I thought I got it in the center anyway, using my eye, but later when I started drilling, I found it was not exactly in the center, but I don't think it's that important. Mostly because I probably didn't have a plan yet, just trying to take it out. So next was trying to figure out how to get it on the drill press vertical so I could drill. My first thought was maybe I'll weld together two steel plates at 90-degree angle, and then we can bolt on a vise kind of sidewards so that I could clamp it in there. Kind of lucky I didn't go that method. It probably wouldn't have worked out. It would be hard to center the drill bit in the vise and clamp it down. So if I did go that route, I'd probably end up moving over to the mill and then trying to get it centered, and still. After doing this, I found that still wouldn't have worked. So if anyone else has got a extremely stuck extractor, I'd recommend doing something similar to this, because it's hard to get the drill bit entirely centered, and that'll only work if when you punched it, you got it directly centered, and you'd probably have to mill a flat surface first and then drill it. So that wouldn't really work. Of course, the center cutting end mill would probably work. Either way, this way it turned out the best. I used a couple of pieces of shims to angle the bottom plate so that I could kind of walk the drill bit over to center. Actually, I'm not even sure why I made sure the drill bit was 90 degrees to start with, but anyway, once I got it kind of centered where I wanted to, then we just started drilling straight down. It's right about there. I started with a small drill bit and slowly worked my way up, even changing the speed of the drill press, going slower and slower as I worked my way up. I guess the plan at this point was to drill down, I guess, deep enough and large enough until I hit the section where the extractor tapered off. That way that I guess the forward part would fall off and I'd only remain with the rear portion, and I could punch the rear portion out. Hopefully, once we take off the tension, the rear portion will come out. But as I was drilling, I found that didn't work. Because it tapers off, not in the center, it'd be hard to I guess, get that forward section to fall off. So we went to plan C. Decided since I got the hole large enough, we'll tap it. So I used the 10/32 tap. I guess you could drill a hole as large as a quarter 20, but I was right around the 10/32, so decided to tap it with a 10/32 tap. Sped most of this up because I don't think you want to see me drilling and tapping. The whole process, I guess the whole length of the video is about 45 minutes or so from beginning to end, but I didn't want to make a 45-minute video, so I was shooting for about 10 minutes. So once I got the hole tapped deep enough, I put a 10/32 bolt in there, and I was thinking how I was gonna get it out. I mean, I have a puller, but my smallest puller is about a 5-pound puller. So if I put that on there, I give it a quick tap, I probably yank the whole slide out of the vise. So that plan was scrapped. I was thinking I'd hold it with a pair of pliers and tap on it with a hammer, but I think I ended up with a vise. Yeah, I used a long, one of those needle nose vise grips. Trying to figure out how I was going to put that on, giving me enough room where I could swing a small hammer in there without actually hitting the frame. One bounce off the frame, and that'll kind of ruin the slide a little bit. Started off with a small hammer, trying to not hit the slide or the sight. After a few hits, I thought, this is really not going to work. It's not budging, so I went for the bigger hammer. The bigger hammer worked really good, only put so much force on there, the camera fell off. Well, there you go. After a few hits with the bigger hammer, it slid right out, and I was quite happy with that. Didn't hit the slide, didn't hit the sight, and everything worked out good. I don't know if you can see, but my original plan was to drill down until right there where the taper is. That way that forward section would fall off, and I should be able to pound out the rear section. But yeah, that didn't work, so I think we went on to plan C, and that worked out really good. I mean, it came out pretty nicely. There is no marks anywhere on the back, on the side or top. So I think if I ever get one stuck again, this is exactly what I would do. I mean, there is absolutely no marks of any kind, so this is definitely the way I'd recommend anyone take one out if you got a really, really stuck extractor. And even after I cleaned it up, you can tell there was no visible marks of any kind, so there'd be no way to tell that we had to bang that one out. Well, if anyone else has a stuck extractor, this plan C is the method I would recommend, and is the one I would use in the future.